What's up guys, it's Joe. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over kind of a review of something that I'm sure most of you people have heard about, especially if you're clicking on this video, which is using a floodlight. This is an LED floodlight and it's super bright as a planted tank light. Now this idea using a floodlight as a light for your planted tanks has been around for a while. But it really took off and really picked up some steam after, of course, the King of DIY posted a video in which he did a tutorial of making his own light for a planted tank, which he used a floodlight for. And he compared it to, I believe it was a Kessel. Of course, with that kind of coverage, the searches jumped up with it, and people are really kind of thinking about this, like, okay, does this actually really work? Now he went on to do a review of how his worked out, and I have a slightly different LED floodlight and a slightly different tank, and we'll see how things worked out for me, I figured, and I bought the light and it's been doing okay. The biggest thing is you can see some algae in the tank. It grows algae very well. It's a very powerful light. I do not have a ton of plants in this tank. I would like to put a few more in there. I probably will in the future. That might cut down on some of the algae because those will be taking up the nutrients and not with the algae. But for me at this point, it grew a bit of algae. Not a big deal. I don't mind the look of it. It kind of gives it more of a natural look in the tank, but some of you really might not like that. This is a very, very low-tech system. I'm not using any CO2. That's another reason probably why the algae is higher. And I only have like a black sand substrate. I'm not at all dosing any sort of fertilizers whatsoever. This is just a very 100% low-tech tank. The only special thing is the powerful light I have on it, because I really did not feel like getting into a big old planted tank expensive setup, especially with my reef tank over here. Now after having this light for a couple months now, maybe about half a year, I have noticed, it's growing the plants fine, it's keeping them alive, they're not exploding, as you might expect, but I'm not putting CO2 into it. Now if you had a good setup with some good CO2, you were dosing fertilizers, I think that this would actually be a very, very, very good light for a planted tank. It's powerful enough if you have the right kelvins. The Kelvin, I'll put it on the screen, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I'll put it on the screen for you guys just so you know. I also, setting up the tank, I do have this light probably about 6 inches from the top of the water. I know Joey, the King of DIY, had it, I don't know, maybe even 2-3 feet off the top of the water. I didn't want that kind of spread because it's in my bedroom and it would just look really weird, and I can't hang something up that high, so I figured, I'd put it on a platform really above the canopy to take it off the top of the water a little bit so you're not baking the fish, but it's also not spreading out through the entire room. Definitely be careful if you're thinking about getting this, that you do have enough ventilation and enough air room for the heat to kind of dissipate off the top of the light, because it will get hot. It'll get really hot. But anyways, guys, I would probably give it 7 out of 10 on the scale of how good it works, and definitely a 10 out of 10 in value for your money. I mean, I think this one cost me about 20 bucks, where if I was to buy a freshwater Kessel, I mean, you're looking at over $100 easy for a freshwater planted light. So it's a very, very economical option if you are like me and you don't want to spend a whole lot on your tanks, but you still want to have a nice planted tank. Anyways, guys, if you did enjoy the video, please remember to leave a like below and subscribe to my channel for more awesome fish keeping content every single week. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you later.